Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is MomTok Marathon Continued. This is Season 4, Episode 5 and 6, The Book of Power and Pain and the Book of Conceit.
The Book of Pain for Pleasure. And for any of the Sum 41 fans out there.
The Book of Toxic Relationships?
Okay, yeah. I mean, all that goes.
Toxic patterns.
Toxic pattern. Generational trauma. What other stuff? What other therapy terms did we throw around here? Codependence.
Codependency.
Yeah, that was another big one. Definitely a factor.
Where we left off last time was that everyone is in LA because MomTok's going on Dancing with the Stars to support Jen and Whitney. Dakota got invited out by Jordan, who's really been going out of his way to start some problems in other people's relationships and or marriages this season. And Taylor decided that she would try to get back at Dakota by inviting over Harry Jowley.
Harry Jowls, yeah. Harry Nutsack.
Harry, the podcaster that Mayci went to promote her book on his podcast. This seems like it's like inappropriate, right? Not very professional of you to invite someone that you had like a working relationship with to like the place that you and everyone is hanging out with or at just to start shit.
Well, no, it was like she had basically teased out the idea of like, oh yeah, you should try to hook up with Taylor, definitely. And he was like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Like on the podcast.
No, I know. She had to know.
That was their professional connection. So if you're saying it's not professional, that was literally what they were talking about in that opportunity. So
well, they were supposed to be talking about her book. Maybe they should have spent more time talking about Macy's book.
Yeah, I think the publisher was a little upset that Mayci forgot to mention the book a little bit more, and it was just about pimping Taylor out instead.
Yeah. So Dakota's trying to play it cool because he knows that it's going to give Taylor satisfaction if he gets upset. So instead, he does the next best thing, the next chess move, is to befriend Harry.
Yeah, well, that's what's going to get back at Taylor for even trying to introduce Harry Ballsack into the group here. And it was like, no, I'm going to be BFFs with this guy before you can even bang him.
He's going to like me more than you like me.
Yeah, it becomes the competition then of like, I bet you I can be buddies with him more than he wants to fuck you. Mm-hmm. Maybe give it some time.
I just knew that was the direction he was going with this.
Of course.
I was like, a master manipulator would befriend this man.
Yes. And he flipped it around exactly like he intended here. That was the plan.
And Taylor's like not good at this because she very quickly gets upset.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
it's working on her.
It's working. And Harry's just kind of caught in the middle because then now Taylor's just kind of trauma dumping. She's like, yeah, well, this is one of my baby daddies. And it was like, are you trying to scare off Harry Balls or are you trying to scare off? Who are you trying to threaten with that information?
No, she was talking about going on The Bachelorette. And she's like, maybe I'll find my third baby daddy there.
And Harry's like,
Harry's like, I know one thing for sure. I don't want to be him.
I need to go. I need to get out of here.
He does stay for a little bit because then they bond further over the fact that he also got invited to be on Vanderpump Villa but had to turn it down because of the sexual experiences that tend to happen there.
Which Dakota was like, well, I can speak to that from experience if you have any questions.
No, Taylor was like,
Taylor called it out, but then
someone sitting next to you knows a lot about that.
Dakota realized here too. He was like, well, I can't be upset that she brought that up. So how can I be of assistance to you in sharing that information? It's there's limited spaces available. I had to make use of the bathroom at times is what it was sounding like. Is there like a shortage of beds or something? Or it's just the limited space?
No, they're not supposed to have.
They're not supposed to do that.
So that's the entire point.
Was that wrong?
Where people were.
Was I not supposed to do? I got to plead ignorance on this one. Was I not supposed to
They're
bang
trying
everybody?
to make it as difficult as possible for those things to actually occur.
Right. Okay.
Between guests of the show and then casted people on Vanderpump.
That feels like it was just like
Employees.
a challenge accepted sort of sort of an issue there that was presented.
Harry's so mortified. He's just grabbing his face. He's like, he's watching them scream at each other.
And Miranda and Michaela are like, it's uncomfortable, but we're sort of used to this.
Acclimated to it.
Yeah, like this is like background noise for us. It's just white noise. We can kind of zone out and just still enjoy, wow, what a beautiful
Look at the skyline.
look at this scenic view behind us in this wonderful house that's all paid for, that we're not worried about anything here. We got everything we need, and it's very enjoyable, pleasant, fire pit experience here, just hanging out with the pals.
If you can just ignore all of the fighting that's going on.
Yeah, because it's Taylor and Dakota, par for the course as far as, what those interactions are looking and sounding like at this point. But this is all new to Harry Jowls, and he's like,
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
He leaves.
I can't do I'm dysregulated just from being here for the short amount of time that I've been able to spend here. I would like to vacate the premises now, please and thank you.
This should really be a segment on The Bachelorette. They're going to have a week where you have to endure watching Taylor interact with her baby daddies, her co-parenting relationships, because you're going to be involved in that.
You're going to be in the middle.
You're going to have to get used to this dynamic.
Well, unless they go the teen mom route, where it's like, okay, new partner, you are now the co-parent and you are the liaison between the co-parents, and there is no direct interaction between Taylor and baby daddies
you will be
anymore.
doing all of the pickups and drop-offs.
That's a necessary requirement for your application consideration.
It only gets worse.
Does it? Does it?
The next morning, Layla goes to wake Taylor up and finds Dakota naked in her bed.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe lock the door.
They don't. They don't learn. They don't ever learn.
I don't think
they don't care.
They don't care about getting caught.
Right. At this point.
No. Which is kind of sad, isn't it? Because I think that she should be more embarrassed than she is. And then later on, she makes it seem like she is mortified, but she just can't get out of this pattern.
Can't quit you. Yeah. Sort of is the excuse. That it's an excuse at this point. Because damn well what you're doing. And it's not working. And it's not good.
They both kind of had smirks on their face.
They thought
that it was cutesy or something.
Is that it's fun. This is fun for them too. Is where it's this is it. And having Harry Jowls here, that was foreplay for Taylor and Dakota, not for Taylor and Harry.
Well, that's where I felt bad, because I was like, this guy has no idea that he was invited here just to be used as a pawn in this game between the two of them, where they both ultimately end up in bed together.
Right. Yeah. Little did he know that you are going to be used as the lightning rod for all of their horniness.
Yeah.
And that's
I know
what's going to happen.
nothing about him. I'm going to assume he's probably not a great person. I don't know.
Mayci was referring to him as a fuckboy.
The fact that MomTok is interacting with him makes me kind of doubt.
Yeah, definitely. We know where the bar's at for the people that they interact with.
But that has to feel so shitty to show up somewhere and then realize that's the purpose of why you were invited.
Right.
It's this is a real waste of my time.
Yeah, especially for a fuckboy, where he was like, well, this
is
help
leading
me.
nowhere for me.
Yeah, this is a big waste of time, definitely. I thought I was going to be the one to be able to, slip in here and maybe
take advantage of the fact
mixed
that she's
in as part of this equation here. Well, not like that, not like a whole.
You got to be careful, because we've had swinging situations.
No,
here.
I think for an F-boy to hear that, hey, there's this mentally unstable friend that I have who's constantly in a push and pull relationship with one of her baby daddies. And the F-boys are like, oh, I know how to work that knob, that's what's going to happen here. And it seems like that was what was kind of taking place a little bit, it was there's an opportunity here. And then when he saw, like, "Ooh, no, this is like more than I'm qualified to handle."
He wasn't prepared for Dakota to be there.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably part of it. Especially when Dakota's so nice and likable. I can't do that to you. We're bros now, you know?
It was kind of funny to watch them become buddies with each other and just how much it annoyed Taylor.
Yeah. Oh, and that was so predictable.
I know.
So quick. We knew exactly.
They're mentally 16 or 17 years old.
Definitely. Yeah. At best.
So everybody's annoyed that they slept together again. And they're just like, no matter what we tell her, she just ends up going back to him. Even the things she says herself. She says she's disgusted by Dakota, that she knows he sleeps with everyone, that she doesn't like that about him, that she's never going to hook up with him again, and yet she does.
She keeps doing it. And so then people are like, well, there is like a father wound here where Taylor doesn't feel worthy of love from men in general because her dad abandoned her. And so that's like why she keeps going back to Dakota, because this is like the avenue to accessing some of that love and feeling worthy of it.
That was something that Jesse came up with.
I think that was Jesse. I think Miranda has been clocking stuff in on this too, with the self-sabotage, with there's like a deeper level understanding of like what's going on here.
I was just kind of impressed that Jesse came up with that.
Jesse, yeah.
I was like, okay, Jesse's girl, on it. I think you have been doing a little bit of therapy.
Yeah, she's done some work.
For Jordan trying to say she hasn't gone as much as he has.
Well, maybe that's why. Maybe that was a Jordan theory then. That's what funneled through. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I highly doubt it.
I just didn't expect her to come up with something that was so accurate.
Right, yeah.
It's like, focus on your own relationship.
I think she knows that one's over. And so that's why she's like, I'm not burning too much energy on that.
Seems like you have like the tools and the logic to tell you that your marriage should be over.
She knows.
Yeah.
I think she knows. She knows full and well.
So at the beginning or the end of the episode, whatever, when they credit the executive producers, hers is her maiden name. And remember, she changed all of her social channels over to Jessie Draper.
Mm-hmm.
And she claimed it was because her married last name was too hard to pronounce.
Right. No. I don't think so.
No. Someone's easing into divorce.
This is a just in case move of, well, you guys already know me as my maiden name. So there you go.
As she's building all this stuff around, all the fame she's getting from the show, she's making sure that it's her maiden name.
Definitely. Yes. Well, that's not the only issue that we're faced with. The mental health concerns. There's also birth control concerns. Because what are we doing here as part of this?
It sounds like they're doing nothing.
Well, it sounds like Taylor's like, don't worry, guys. I'm tracking the cycle. And it's like, that's not enough to be doing what you're doing.
No. Also, I have zero faith that if Taylor was ovulating, she would be in like the right mind to stop and say, we shouldn't sleep together.
Well,
don't you think she just gets carried away?
I think if you already have
like impulsive,
if you already have two baby daddies, rhythm cycle isn't your method. Okay, like I'll throw that out there.
She was married at first. And
I understand.
She had kids while she was married.
I understand, but I'm just saying, like you have multiple children with multiple men. I don't think you should be trusting the rhythm method solely.
I think the scary part is you're sleeping with somebody who you really don't want to have a future connection with.
Right.
And so maybe you definitely want to make sure you're not going to have another baby with this person.
Yes. That's the big tie back to everything here.
You're going on The Bachelorette in a couple of weeks.
It's like less than a month.
What are the guys going to think about the fact that you're just letting people raw dog you a few weeks before you go to The Bachelorette?
Yeah.
And it's someone who sleeps with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the other part of it too. It's like, are we going to get like an STI panel done before we go?
I hope so. Yeah.
And a pregnancy test.
We're going to need to make sure. Yeah. Everything needs to come back clean before we step foot in there. Yeah. You would think.
Well, and the girls are trying to frame it too. Like, you're going to go on The Bachelorette. You're probably going to sleep with someone there. I mean,
you say that you're not. Yeah. Like Taylor keeps saying that she's not, but they're like, there's 30 dudes there. odds are you're going to bang one of them. Okay. Statistically speaking.
The past has shown us that that's very likely to happen. So what are you doing to prepare for that moment? Nothing.
Rhythm is what we're sticking with. She's got the rhythm of the night, I think, is what's happening here.
You know, more power to you. Everybody should be able to choose their own birth control.
Maybe throw plan B into the mix, though, if depending on what else is going on here. I don't think she would
ever do that.
Just in case, we are at the morning after, but the clock is ticking.
It just seems like she's a person who makes a lot of decisions that she then regrets afterwards. So if you know that about yourself, maybe you should prepare for the reality that something might happen, and then you're like, maybe that wasn't the best decision.
Good call. Yeah. Not the best here. Probably not.
She's going to take really no consideration of that.
No. No. So we've got other things that we can do, though, instead of birth control, instead of therapy. We've got the box of truth that's making a return.
The truth
here
box.
Instead.
So this is the game that they played a few seasons ago where they...
Is it a game?
I think it's supposed to be a game.
What are the rules?
This is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, who wins?
Where you get to ask an anonymous question of somebody else in the group.
The truth box.
But this time, MomTok and Dad Talk are playing.
Because it's Jordan initiating this. This was going to be a Dad Talk thing. And then Layla's like, yeah, you're just doing stuff that we did 2 seasons ago. That seems to be Dad Talk's thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's not helping with, like, coming up with your own stuff, though.
So remember how last season it felt like Layla was being used as, like, a producer pawn? And Mayci, too, which was really causing people to dislike Mayci quite a bit because she was, like, the narrator of the show, or kind of in the way that like Heather Gay operates on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
It was kind of like Mayci and Michaela because they were like a bonded pair last season.
Yeah. I feel like the show has dialed that back, and instead they're using Dad Talk to push some of these things that usually they would use the other women to introduce this game.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then the only way to win the game, as Whitney and Connor know, is not to play, because Whitney's like, no. I just premiered on Dancing with the Stars. I'm not going to blow that opportunity here by saying something stupid with this truth box exercise that we're about to go through here. Well, not interested in that.
Nothing good ever happens when they play that game.
Getting all flustered over
I
here.
know. It's like, you scared me. I'm like, are you looking to see if we're recording?
Yeah, I was actually.
Okay. Are we?
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank God.
No worries. I'm not worried. Why are you worried?
The big thing that comes out of the truth box is... Wait, is what?
Is what?
You
what comes out of the truth box?
Isn't this where... Wait, are we even in the truth box section of the notes?
I don't know. Oh, maybe not. I was excited to talk about the truth box. This is all I care about. Okay. I just want the drama.
That's why I'm like, what are you talking about?
MomTok and Dad Talk confronting them, I don't care. Everybody can have all the interventions that they want for these two people. They know. They don't need anybody else to tell them that what they're doing is wrong. Taylor and Dakota should not be together. The two people who know that for a fucking fact are Taylor and Dakota. But they keep ending up together because it's easy, it's safe. They just keep falling back into the same pattern. And that's what they're struggling with. So no matter how many people sit them down and say, hey, this isn't good for you, that's not going to sink in until one of them decides enough is enough. We are not doing this anymore. And we're not going back to that.
Yeah, everybody's really reached their limit with it, too, because they're like, I've offered my advice. They don't listen. So at this point, what do we do?
Yeah.
Just let them keep doing this over and over again?
Shut it down?
It's kind of like, go to therapy. Go work on yourself. Because you're wasting everyone else's time at this point.
Yeah.
The guys do tell Dakota, you're probably going to be the one that has to cut this off.
Right.
I'm not getting the vibe that, like, Taylor is going to be the one to do that.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to have to, like, make it very clear that this is not happening again in the future.
Right.
Which I do think he's been failing to do. I think he's the one always leaving the door open.
Okay. Like, I think he talks about it as like, oh, that would be so great. because then he's always talking about how things aren't good when she's mean to him. And then when she's nice to him, he's like, wow, this is really great. But then as soon as they have one single conflict, then he's out again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like he can't commit and stay committed. Like he wants to be committed as long as it's going to be easy, as long as everything's simple and straightforward and the same.
He does keep cheating on her.
That's not helping.
That's usually where there then is a conflict.
Because then he's arguing, yeah, or like if they are in an argument, there's no way for them to solve it. So then he goes and finds somebody else to go bang. And then it's just like, that's how he fixes the issues in their relationship. That's not good.
By creating another problem?
Creating another problem, or forcing Taylor to then say, it's over, it's done, and they break up and then they reset again. Because that's what they do, is that they're very charming and become attractive to each other while they're just co-parenting and while they're just living their own separate lives. But then as soon as they are together and they're trying to work together in a relationship, it blows up because they don't get along generally. Like they don't agree on things. So like, yeah, that's not going to work long term.
No.
You're very agreeable in the short term and immediate things when you both have the same goal where you both want to bang. So like, yeah, that ends up working out just fine. But then nothing else does, and it will continue to not work because you're just in the same spot every single time.
It was also really awkward when they went out to eat. MomTok did, and then Jesse Palmer happens to be in the same restaurant as them. He's the guy who hosts The Bachelorette.
Yeah. And just happened to be getting a coffee across the street. And it was like, yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly. That's exactly what happens in LA.
What was really upsetting about this was that nobody outed Taylor for having slept with her ex in front of him.
No.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah. You need to tell this man. Somebody needs to tell him.
Actually, Taylor had a rough night. So
yeah,
we're here trying to work through
start.
some of the trauma that she has before she comes on The Bachelorette.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that, though. It's not going to happen.
Later on, then Dakota asks Taylor if they can have a conversation out on the patio. And it starts out okay, and then it escalates.
No, yeah. This is a co-parenting reset because this is the normal process that they go through where now they've banged, they realize they made a mistake, and then it's back to, all right, well, we got to
focus on just being co-parents together.
Just keep it at that, arm's distance and not get involved again, not make the same mistakes here because we know relationship doesn't work for us. So
well, I didn't like that he put it on her.
Right.
Where he was like, well, you don't want to be with me. So if that's the way it's going to be, then we should just focus on co-parenting. And I think that frustrates Taylor because she's like, it's not that I don't want to be with you. It's that every time we try to be together, you fuck it up.
Or it's your decision that we're not together. And it's like, well, it's her decision based on all of your screw ups.
Yeah, it's like he's trying not to take accountability for his own actions.
Yeah.
As far as like the downfall of their relationship.
Because he was
together.
even arguing about like when was technically cheating from when they were together. And it's like, dude, it doesn't matter. Because like you were cheating. Like
yeah, she's like, okay, then what about the time before that? Yeah. Remember when I was pregnant and you cheated on me the whole time I was pregnant?
Didn't recall that. So it was just like, dude, it's been heavily documented.
It's like that is the exact reason why you guys can't be in a relationship together because you can't even agree on whether or not you're in a relationship to begin with.
Yeah, and like
and
why
what the
it's
boundaries
not
working,
are, or even like what it comes down to of like why this doesn't work. Can't even agree on that. So it's just like, okay, then just stop. But then you're forced to interact through the co-parenting relationship. So then that's what makes it so complicated.
When he was talking to Dad Talk when they went to get hot dogs, I couldn't believe that he said that he would have ditched her if they didn't have a baby.
Yeah.
Or he was like, I would have just ghosted her. It would be so much easier.
I don't know if he would have. Like, I think...
You think he does this? This is just a pattern he would enter whether or not there was a child?
Well, I mean, like, I think there is that level of attraction between them.
I think so, too.
Where he likes that.
Yeah, they like the toxic traits that each other have. And it's the codependency.
Oh, yeah.
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 They're just drawn like a moth to the flame.
It's working. Yeah. Like, and in the absolute worst way. Because then they think that that's like, oh, that's destiny. That's this draw. That's this whatever. No, that's two broken people who are attracted to the broken side of the other person that they're trying to be in a relationship with, that it's never going to work. Yeah, that's not healthy. That's not good.
Yeah, I agree. It's like they're drawn to this part of the other person that person doesn't like about themselves.
For all the wrong reasons. Yeah, like they are both in it for all the wrong reasons, and it's terrible.
They end up screaming at each other, and Michaela and Jace come out because they're worried. They say they're worried and they're there in case it gets any worse than it already is, but they kind of just sit and watch them fight, which was weird.
Right.
Right? It was like watching them in a zoo.
I guess. Yeah, it was like, well, I don't want to interject. And again, there's nothing we can say that we haven't already said that they both know. So, like, we're just here to make sure that we don't have season 1, episode 1 ending where the police are called and then there's like domestic charges that are in play and parole. We don't need any of that a month before Bachelorette. We don't want to tank these opportunities that we have coming up here. So we got to sit in on this and just kind of be neutral party.
I am continuing to say, I think that's why a lot of the women are getting involved in this. I don't think it's because they're worried about Taylor's love life. It's because they're worried about her fumbling the Bachelorette.
We're dangerously close.
Yeah.
To losing a huge opportunity here.
She's screaming, it fucking hurts. It hurts that the person that I wanted to be with doesn't listen.
Okay.
She's got a big thing about people not listening to her because that came up later with her mom. That she feels like no one listens to what she says.
Not feeling heard, not feeling seen. Yeah. Sounds like she's ripe for a catfish.
It does.
Just saying. Just throwing that out there.
Don't give Jackie any ideas. Still out there.
I think Taylor, a catfish would never work on Taylor because she doesn't have enough people pleaser aspects to her. Like she gets combative and then she'll go scorched earth very quickly.
She would immediately call you and ask you if you wanted to fly out to meet her.
Yeah. Oh, so that too.
That would be it for a catfish.
It's tough. It's tough to dance around that.
Yeah.
And she calls out BS. Like she doesn't just go along with it. So that's going to make it
a little tougher to catfish
trickier.
her.
Yeah. Here.
Then Taylor tries to work on some of her issues. So she is realizing that she's got some problems that she should probably address in the next couple of weeks before she has to leave.
Yeah, you should be able to clear that up in 3 to 4 weeks.
A lifetime of drama that she's got to fix. And
you should be able to knock that out. Yeah, the three or 4 sessions, you should be able to take care of that, top to bottom.
She meets up with her mom and her sister, and she tells them Dakota went to LA too when they're asking about the trip. And they already know. They know that they hooked up.
I feel like her sister did know for sure. Because then her mom was like, yeah, like she wasn't saying anything. And then her mom was like, did you sleep with them? Because, of course, you have to ask Taylor that directly. And then she goes, no. And her sister kind of laughed. So that's where I was like, I think her sister knew. I think she already told her sister and then was like, hey, I need you to be here for this conversation with mom. Because then her sister sat right in between them. And then it was just Taylor and Leanne yelling at each other over her sister.
Why deny that, though? Because it's on TV.
Well, it will be eventually.
I know.
Yeah.
She's going to find out eventually that it happened.
Yeah, I think she was just being difficult. Like she was.
Yeah, I don't even think that it was that she was trying to avoid the judgment, because that's what she turns it into. Is, well, I don't want you to know because when you find out, then you get upset and you start yelling at me and it becomes a whole fight. When I really just want you to be empathetic towards me.
Yeah, it's hard to continue to have empathy when you keep doing the same things over and over again that are your own decisions, that you're making terrible decisions.
Well, and that's where we're seeing MomTok is at, right? And they're not as close to this as Taylor's own mom and sister are, where they had to hear her crying while she was pregnant and, you know, they had to accept and like Dakota while she was in a relationship with him. And then they disliked him because of everything that he did to her. And then she keeps hooking up with him.
Yeah, it's just, there's that exhaustion point where it's like, I can't continue to feel bad for you when it's all of your problems are your own making
Self-created.
here. Yeah, like you're doing self-fulfilling prophecies of like, oh, my life is chaos. Oh, my relationships are terrible. Okay, it's because you keep pursuing that and you keep doing those things. So like you can't keep doing that the same way that you have been.
Well, I can't believe that no one has brought up to her, like, maybe your mental health, like, could be looked at.
Well, that was Taylor's big thing.
Try
for
to
like,
say it in the nicest way possible.
that was Taylor's big thing.
There are
for
red
like
flags.
She didn't want birth control because she's like, oh, there's too many hormones and stuff that like I don't want.
I have a feeling she really wouldn't be into the idea of like getting a diagnosis for anything and maybe being medicated or
right. Yeah, because Leanne's answer here is she's like, I really hope she finds the church because that fixed things for me. That's not a great just like catch all, fix all, cover the solutions here too, because the same thing too when Taylor's telling Leanne here, I just want to feel supported by you, and then Leanne's berating her with honor your father and mother is a 10 commandment, not honor your children. And it's like, well, that also doesn't mean shit on your kids. I don't think that's a commandment.
Said some pretty gross things to her.
Yeah, like we already got problems with Leanne from previous seasons. You can go back and listen to those. We're not big Leanne fans. And that continues in this episode as well.
No, I don't like Leanne, but I can understand why she's frustrated.
Right.
Because it's the same reason everyone's frustrated with Taylor at this point.
Yeah. So in the most Christian fashion, she calls her a bitch and then leaves. So Leanne calls Taylor
her daughter
a bitch
and then walks
and
out.
then walks away. So, like not really the best way to handle it, especially when the feedback note that you're being given is like, hey, I don't feel accepted. I don't feel supported. And then also in the same breath of finding out what happened there, you are then dumping all of that on Taylor as well of like, yeah, here comes all the judgment now that you were worried about. It is here. It's time.
I think Taylor really needs to be told by someone that this is not your support group. Like it doesn't seem like your mom is someone you can lean on. As much as you wish that was the case.
Yeah. She's
just maybe not the right person. You don't communicate well together. She's not very good at being empathetic.
Accepting and like, yeah. I mean, not even empathetic. I think it is just like the...
I feel like it's a little bit of the Mormonism of it all.
There's judgment. What Taylor doesn't like is she's feeling judged. I feel like that is a lot of it is from the religious aspects where it's throwing it in Taylor's face in a moment where she's already kind of suffering in that, where it's, hey, you did the wrong things and here's 15 reasons why that you shouldn't have been doing that stuff or that you deserved it because you did all this other bad stuff. And it's just like, okay, I don't need you to justify why my life is total shit right now and like why I'm struggling so much. But I think you're right with Taylor hasn't come to that conclusion herself of realizing like, it's great that you want that sort of relationship with your mom. You might not be able, your mom might not be capable of providing that relationship with you, unfortunately. And that's a reality that you need to face.
I think she needs to come to that realization. And I do think that there's some red flags that maybe she's bipolar. I mean, again, I'm not, don't have credentials to diagnose anybody, but I would feel really bad if she continued to live her life and then you find out years from now that something explains your behavior when you keep saying you feel like you keep making decisions that aren't aligned with who you want to be. Maybe there's a reason why.
Well, it's
that goes a little deeper.
And she's been trying to do Leanne's advice where it's like, oh, I just sit inside and read the Bible. And I'm like, I'm terrified that is where it's someone who's having mental health issues is then just turning to religion and only religion for an answer. And it's like, I don't think that is the problem that we're facing.
And aside from any potential like mental health challenges she may be having, she also has a lot of trauma just from like her life, from the fact that her dad has not been in her life. We've seen the way her mom and her stepdad interact with her.
Oh boy, Maisie's body slamming.
Yeah, she
okay,
might have
there we
just
go.
shook the microphone the whole time I talked. But there's so many layers that I think it's going to take a while. She should be focusing on herself, not trying to date 30 guys on The Bachelorette.
Yeah, we're still we're jumping right into the deep end here, but like they're still trying to clean up. It's like Taylor and Leanne, they're seeing like a mother-daughter relationship specialist.
Yeah, they didn't want to call it a therapist.
What was
Is
this?
she not a therapist?
Is she just like a family counselor, or like
she's a PA on the show?
somebody who agreed to film?
Yeah.
And I mean, it didn't really start off very good.
No,
it was like rapid fire questions of like Leanne passive aggressively asking things about like, how do we fix this over here?
All the problems are with her.
Yep.
So here's my spiel about everything that I think's wrong with her. Now you tell me what you think of that.
Yeah.
Don't give me any feedback for myself. I just want to hear what you think of her.
It was very much, like what I expected for her generation and approach to therapy. Of like,
no, it was very Amber Johnston of her.
Yeah,
I came here today because I need you to fix the other person who's with me.
I'm telling you what we want to work on specifically. Yeah, and it's all things that are with this other person that I brought here.
Also, Taylor's saying she feels really controlled when her mom tries to tell her what to do, because I think that's how her mom tries to involve herself, where she thinks she's going to fix the situation by telling Taylor, here's what you need to do to get out of where you've gotten yourself into. And then she doesn't like that because she's like, you're trying to control me rather than just give me advice or guide me.
Yeah. And then Taylor also has, it's that like teenage rebellion sort of mindset that she's still in at age 31, where mom's telling me what to do. I'm going to do the complete opposite. And so it's just this push and pull that happens between their relationship too. So it's like we're seeing a trend in Taylor's interactions with other people where those are the relationship dynamics that are established in her family. And so then that's what she's replicating in her romantic relationships as well.
Yeah. I wonder if she feels the same way about when MomTok tells her not to get back with Dakota.
Right. That they're just trying to control her by like saying that thing. But it's Taylor saying that too. Taylor knows. Taylor has vocally stated that, yeah, it's terrible every single time. And Dakota's trash and he's despicable. Said it multiple times at the reunion, the season 3 reunion too, about how I can never see you in that way ever again. But here we are again and again. It just continues to repeat. The cycle keeps going.
The thing that was really weird that we learned here was that her relationship with Dakota really kind of mirrors Leanne's relationship with her bio dad.
And then that was the other like pain point then that we saw, was where it was like Leanne seeing this as these big sacrifices that she made for Taylor to not have to endure the toxicity of a relationship like that. And then you're still watching your kid go and engage in that. Like that's what she's still settling for, is this toxic dynamic.
Okay, did you kind of get the vibe from her, though? Because she's talking about how Taylor's dad was a drug addict. And she cut him out of her life because she wanted Taylor to have a better life. I kind of felt like maybe she was a little upset that she chose her kid over this guy. And then in the end, her kid is just recreating this pattern with the drug addict that they've found in their adult life.
Well, yeah, like I think that was the disappointment that's in that, where Leanne saw it as all of these sacrifices that I made. I chose a tougher path, doing it on my own, doing like single mom stuff instead of having maybe a less dependable person, but at least somebody to help with something financially or, you know, in whatever way. But like she bypassed all of that to protect Taylor. And then, yeah, for what now? If you're looking at it, it's like she's in the same thing. She's making all of the decisions that I chose not to make. And so that's really hard to just continue to watch happen over and over again.
Yeah, I think you can kind of understand why she would be upset about that.
Yeah. So they're frustrated.
As much as I really dislike Leanne, and I think she's thrilled that she's getting so much camera time.
I mean, I think they ended up in a better spot, at least for that one session that we saw on camera here for this episode, where it was like a little bit more of like an understanding, I guess, of where each other like were coming from. And then like, do they have the, I think it comes down to, it's like, does Leanne have that capacity to be that person that Taylor needs her to be, expects her to be, wants her to be? I don't think so.
I think that Leanne's also really immature.
Yeah, there's definitely a big component of that.
Mm-hmm. And they trigger each other too, where they just start saying nasty things to each other just to try to hurt the other person more.
They don't fight well. They don't fight in a healthy way where they say hurtful things and get very vindictive, which Dakota has pointed out that is something that Taylor really takes to heart and usually is trying to utilize some level of that as, you know, a form of punishment or, you know, getting revenge basically, or, you know, dishing it back to the person who hurt her. And she kind of yelled that too, because she's a hurt person who's hurting people. And again, it's not an excuse though. Like if you are a hurt person, I understand hurt people, but like, that's not a free pass to just go treat everybody like shit.
Yeah.
Like it's a problem
and
that
once
you
you've
need to solve.
identified that that's the circumstance you find yourself in and this is a pattern in your life, then it's your responsibility to go try to fix that.
Yeah. Cause like it sucks. It sucks that that's something now that you have to carry and process, like what Michaela's going through, where like her skin conditions flaring up and stuff. She keeps saying that it's like right after giving birth. I think it's because she was in therapy and like she was kind of starting to pick some stuff up. And now she's like, oh, I got a lot going on. I'm not working on that right now because there's a lot of things going on. And it's like, honey, I think that's why
it could
flaring
be
up.
I mean, obviously, after you have a baby, there's like a lot of hormonal changes in your body.
Yes.
And they probably really don't know what sets off her autoimmune condition. But yeah, being stressed out and doing trauma therapy is stressful, and it can trigger things like that. It
puts you back in that space a lot of the time. So it's just like, that could be definitely a response from just doing some of that work. So I'm kind of apprehensive about how they've kind of like taken a step back. It seems like they're going to, like after the mid-season preview, they kind of alluded to a little bit more.
There's going to be more to her story with what's going on with Jace in her marriage. Yeah.
Right.
I feel bad for her just because like I've been there where I went to trauma therapy and I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Because I spent a lot of years trying to avoid what I didn't want to talk about in therapy. And I think that's kind of the place where she's at.
Yeah. And
where it's like you start to pick that wound and then you're like, I don't really want to go there.
Yeah. It's tough.
So she's like, I got all this other stuff going on that I need to focus on instead.
But it's just like Taylor and Dakota. Like you can't force somebody to come to that realization. Like they need to reach that conclusion on their own terms. So it's just part of that process from where she's at.
The other weird thing that happened was all of a sudden Taylor has an interest in having a genealogist find her dad's family.
They couldn't get her on an episode of
Finding Your Roots.
They did not get that guest spot that they were able to land, unfortunately.
Who would be the person that they turn the page and you're supposed to be surprised that she's related to? Who's another celebrity?
Ben Affleck.
They need to get Jen on Know Your Roots. Finding Your Roots, whatever it is.
Yeah. Now, who would Taylor be related to? For real, though? Oh, man. That'd be a good one. Who does she look like?
I don't know. She's a very tiny person.
Yeah. I just keep thinking of all the people for Jen Affleck. Yeah, it's because she looks like the girlfriend in a Goofy movie.
That would just be so funny. And then for them to tell her that was a joke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think this is like not a good time, which is what Leanne tells her.
Yeah, maybe don't go.
This is some heavy stuff to be tracking down your dad's side of the family. Maybe you should do that like after you go on The Bachelorette.
Yeah, like I don't know if this is really necessary for your like finding love stage of life here necessarily. So yeah, this seems like extra credit. And it's like you got a lot of just regular stuff to be focusing on here right now.
She finds out she has 2 half siblings that she didn't know about.
So like that's a lot, Yeah, especially if you're going to try and within this month before going on The Bachelorette, you're going to go try and tie up with your new half siblings that you just found out about. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot to take on.
This whole thing is worrisome just because you don't know what you're going to find. And I don't think she's in a good place necessarily to be tracking these people down and then taking in what they have to say.
Right.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out. The other big story that's going on throughout these 2 episodes is that Mayci's new book, it's not selling very well. And the publisher is mad at her.
Yeah, they're grumpy with the numbers aren't doing so great because even in like her hometown, like they thought that they were going to be selling out of these places for like the book signing events or meet and greet sort of Q&A type things and stuff like that. And it's like, they're upset. They're calling her agent. Her agent's calling her and telling her the bad news of like, yeah, they feel like you're not really focusing on the book stuff. You're not really pushing these events. They're not selling tickets. And it's really kind of adding up. They're seeing, you out on Dancing with the Stars maybe and not really pushing the book stuff, even though she just did a bunch of podcast stuff to promote the book.
Well, she was like, I just had a baby. I'm like, they don't care about that, girlie.
They don't care about that. Yeah.
They sent Gypsy Rose out to have people give her death threats and do a book signing when she was pregnant. Yeah.
And they were like, I guess we can do security. I guess. It's going to come out of year end, though.
I think they're all starting to feel a lot of pressure in that they're getting other opportunities, but they're also having to continue to film this show. And there's just not enough time in the day.
Yeah, because then that's coming up as part of like basically all of the interpersonal relationships in MomTok as well. Because like Whitney is trying to balance everything where she's trying to be there for everybody and she's completely overwhelmed. She's in LA. So like a lot of this stuff is happening in Utah. So it's like when she would try to go back to support somebody doing something, she has to fly there and then fly back. Like you're just going to stay there for a couple hours and then you're zipping back and forth so much that like, yeah, that's very draining. That's very taxing, especially she's not sitting around in a studio. She's dancing and rehearsing constantly. So like it's all these different elements that are kind of piling up where she doesn't want to say no to things though either because it's going to look like you don't support.
There's internal pressure in the group where if somebody supported you for something, now it's like you're indebted to them and you have to support them too, no matter what the situation is. Because she's thinking about how she didn't go to, was it Mayci's baby mama, the supplement launch?
Yeah, the edibles for the babies.
Right. That they gave her so much shit for not showing up to that. And so even though she's so overwhelmed, she starts breaking down and crying to Connor because she knows that if she backs out on going to this book tour, it's going to be a really big problem.
It'll be hell to pay. Yes, definitely. So she's fully aware of that. But then also she's completely overwhelmed. So she's like, I can't do it. I can't.
I feel like I'm a Whitney apologist now, but I felt really terrible when she started crying about how she feels like she's not being a good enough mom. She's not there for them enough. Because we know that Nick Viall and his wife ended up having like a gross conversation on their podcast about that, criticizing her for taking all these other opportunities when she had kids at home.
Yeah, which was some bullshit because it was like, oh, look at all these things that Whitney's jumping onto. And then they were talking about somebody else in the same breath where they were like, oh, she's so amazing because she does all this stuff.
Praising, yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay, like, why is it bad when Whitney does it? And I'm not here to completely defend Whitney. I do like Whitney this season, though.
I think Whitney's trying very hard to be liked.
Well, and here's the tricky part too, is where because we said this at one point was because spoiler, she doesn't win Dancing with the Stars because season 3 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives started airing while Dancing with the Stars was on, and the week after it premiered, they voted her off. She was out. So I was like, oh man, it's a bummer because they saw season 3 Whitney. If they saw season 4 Whitney, they might have rooted for
they've
her.
seen season 1, season 2, and season 3 Whitney.
Yeah.
And that Whitney's not really been great.
Not good.
And I do think she's constantly thinking about the perception of her from a PR lens, because she is thinking about what other opportunities she's going to have in the future. This show is not the beginning and the end of what she wants.
Yeah, she's already landing movie deals,
Movies.
Straight to TV
Made
movie.
for TV
movie.
holiday movie, which will come out next year.
Yeah, which I'm sure we'll review.
Oh yeah, that'll have to be one of our
That'll be one of
Christmas
the
movies.
Christmas movies that we'll get to. Definitely. We'll put it on the list.
Yeah, I got to write that down.
For sure. If it makes it out of production, I guess.
No, it has a name already and everything, and there's some.
No, I know, but it's like,
from it.
hey, sometimes stuff happens. But she's an executive producer on it, so
She'll make sure it comes
she's
out.
invested
The
fully.
thing that I like about her is I like people who actually do things, people who don't just like talk about doing things. So I do respect that about her.
Yeah, she's going and doing.
But do I think she's here to be friends with anyone? No.
No, but like, I have really liked seeing her showing up for Michaela too. Like that was really interesting.
Right. So Michaela gets a stem cell treatment to help with her skin. And
Where it's basically just a doctor playing darts with her face and her neck.
it did not look enjoyable.
No.
And poor
Whitney,
Whitney, I don't think
Whitney's
she
like-
likes needles, and she was there anyway.
She was like
Sitting
had
right
to
next
turn
to her.
away. Yeah, I can't look directly at it, but like, let me know if there's anything I can help you with or something. But like, I don't want to see it.
But that was another example of where she flew out pretty much just to do that. And I think she mentioned she was there for something else.
That was Michaela stayed longer in LA for it. So that was in LA. She was able to be there for that.
Okay.
So like, there are times, obviously it's like, yeah, you can be there and support a friend or something, like you're there in town too. So like, yeah, that works out when that works out, and that's good. But the instances of like with Macy's book stuff, like to fly back for like an hour or two and then immediately fly back to LA, it's grueling.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
And that's not an expectation that they just have of Whitney.
No.
They also expect Jen to come do it.
Jen too.
And Jen, who's got a newborn.
Yeah.
And is also on Dancing with the Stars.
And I mean,
and
Whitney
filming
has
this
little
show.
Yeah, Whitney has little kids
I know
too.
Whitney
but
has
like,
little kids, but I'm just saying she just
Yeah,
had a baby
just
a couple
had a
weeks
baby.
ago.
Yeah.
And obviously, like the amount of dancing that she's doing, all of this is a lot on your body.
yes.
Like it's emotionally taxing to go out there and perform for people and hope that they vote for you.
Yeah.
So they have no compassion for what either of them are going through
Well,
and how stressful it must be.
it's like yeah, I don't know. It's like there's different kind of tiers of MomTok right now too, because it's like you have the Dancing with the Stars team and the Bachelorette, like there's these higher tier opportunities that are coming up, because versus
That's what I think maybe
Macy's
they're
doing her
upset
thing.
about.
Yeah.
Is that it's like, oh, so your thing's so much more important than my thing?
But it is like, in a way, you know what I'm saying?
It's
like
a huge commitment.
it's a big commitment, and it does take a lot of time and energy, and like I can't be doing that and all of this other stuff and then trying to focus on that. Like I'm trying to win Dancing with the Stars or like whatever the goal is, but like that's different than Macy's self-published tour or like like the book tour.
It's like all of you, a lot of the hard work of you creating that book happened before the point that you're at, right?
And I mean,
Now,
I get it, it's a lot.
It's still a lot.
Yeah.
She also has a newborn baby and is going out and having to promote the book now, which is a whole nother part of writing a book that's very difficult.
But I think you would have to understand, like there has to be a level of understanding of like, not everybody can drop what they're doing to support me in all of my endeavors all the time too, because it's the same thing. But I mean, okay, here's where I will completely counter all of that, what I've just said too, because the issue that we run into is where Mayci was trying to plan one of the book signing events. She had Jesse kind of like soft committed to hosting the event in Utah. And then Jesse committed to something else with Call Her Daddy podcast instead. And then Mayci was just like, okay, great. Like, I thought that was taken care of, but now it's not. And now I need to find somebody else to host. And Whitney jumps in and she goes, oh, I'll host. And so then Macy's like, oh, great. Well, that's awesome. Cool. Let's plan for that. But then after a big confrontation with the truth box, which, I mean, there's the truth box, is everybody's basically telling Mayci she needs to talk to Jesse about how this is bothering her because
she was avoiding telling her that she was upset that she backed out of her event.
Yeah, like it felt like you committed to my thing and then a better opportunity popped up and you jumped at that chance instead. So like that was where the disconnect was. That was the interpretation from Macy's side. But then once they started talking about it, Jesse was like, oh no, it seemed like that was like an up in the air thing. It seemed like you weren't really that committed or like excited about me doing it. It was like a kind of an either or sort of a thing. And so I just went with the other thing because it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. But now knowing that like that was really important for you and you were really relying on me and counting on me to do that, I will 100% do that.
Mm-hmm. I do think that she was a good friend in that she said, look, I will back out of the other event that I committed to so that I could fulfill my original obligation of coming to yours.
Which that also lets Whitney off the hook. And then come to find out, that's when Whitney's freaking out, stressing out that whole week, where now she's like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go to the event that I had said that I would host at one point. She overcommitted
herself.
She overcommitted. She overextended. And then now she's in the thick of it. And she's like, I'm getting very overwhelmed. Like Tammy on 1,000-Pound Sisters. So
that's me.
That's the point. Yeah, that you get to where it's just like, I've overdone it. There's no way I can do all of this stuff. So I need to say no to something. So unfortunately, that ties into what's the biggest thing here is that there's a travel component. And then it's like, what's the return on that?
Well, she doesn't have a choice to not do Dancing with the Stars.
You're in that.
So, I mean,
yeah.
If she's got to skip something, it's probably going to be your event.
Right.
They don't care. They're so mad. They're mad that both Whitney and Jen don't show up because Jen is sick.
Jen's
or
sick.
So she says.
Yeah, because Macy's doubting that. She's like, I don't know if Jen just knows that I hate sickness. And so she's just like saying that. So then they FaceTime call her and Jen's in bed and she sounds sick. And she's like,
they were so disappointed.
Yeah,
because they were trying to be mad at her.
They were trying to. And then they were like, well, okay, we can't be mad at Jen then. So, like, let's still be mad at Whitney then instead is where they, like, settled on for that. But it was Layla stirring up shit on that, too, because she was like, oh, I'm here. Yeah, because you don't have anything else going on. Of course you're here, Layla. Yeah. We know you're here.
There are a few of them who I think are a little upset that they're not getting other opportunities or they haven't really had the right opportunity that they want to pursue come along yet.
Right.
And they're seeing other people do things that are dreams that they've had since they were young.
Yep. And it hasn't happened yet for them.
There's a little bit of jealousy.
There's some
involved.
jealousy flying around. Definitely. That's a component here where then it's just stirring up drama because, well, I don't have these other opportunities. What I do have is I'm very loyal to my friends in MomTok. So like that's what they're going to tout and herald now for the rest of the group.
Jessie was also really trying to stir the pot because she was upset that she had to back out of the Unwell event that she could have gone to because everybody gave her so much shit. But it's like, you were hosting this.
It was Whitney. Whitney was giving her shit where it was like, oh, that was another commitment that she had already made. And then she went with the other thing.
To be fair, I think it's a little different when you commit to hosting an event. And we do see what the book event is like.
Yes.
And it's like, there's a whole Q&A that she's hosting.
Yeah. It's like interview.
She's introducing Mayci.
Yeah.
She's interviewing her. They're talking about
on
the book.
stage in front of a live audience.
That's a little different from coming to an event to support somebody and being a passive bystander or like a passive participant, you know?
I get it though, where Jessie's then frustrated because she's like, well, Whitney was very vocal about like how shitty it was that I double booked essentially or picked something else, and now I flipped back basically. But like the component there being that it's just the exact same thing essentially, because then it was Whitney had committed to, oh, I'll cover hosting for you then. And then it was like,
but that never
no.
became a thing because then Jessie said that she would do it again.
Right. But then is that not the same thing of like, it's like overextending yourself, but in a slightly different way, I guess. And that's what Jessie's frustrated about, is that she got kind of raked over the coals for it. And now Whitney does it because she's like, oh, I'm busy. I can't come. I'm overwhelmed and I can't make it. And now we're just supposed to say, okay, great. Because like Whitney did kind of shit on Jessie in that moment too, where it was like, oh, that's kind of messed up that she didn't.
I guess I just think that wanting to go to a podcast event because you got invited and it's like a big deal because it's Call Her Daddy is different than, hey, I'm in a dance studio 5 hours a day every single day, plus doing everything else that I'm committed to, like filming the show and probably going out and promoting other things or filming a pilot for like that movie that she just got greenlit. I think there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Or
and I know Jessie runs a business.
Yeah, and she had her stuff. She had to zip out to New York for an awards thing and stuff like that.
But everyone's starting to feel the pressure of it now.
Right. Yeah. I think it's becoming more apparent here of what's at stake now amongst the group.
Well, next episode, Mom Talk and Dad Talk are going to compete in a pickleball competition.
Okay.
I don't know how they're going to get us invested in that.
I don't know. I'm worried now because like I was complimenting the editing on last episode. These 2 episodes were a fucking bear to get through. Yeah, this was rough. So like there was a bunch of stuff we probably could have trimmed down on. A couple of conversations that were very duplicative that we didn't need to keep in place here.
Basically all of the Taylor and Dakota stuff.
It pretty much. Yeah. It feels like I didn't watch 2 new episodes. Like this was just smashed into the middle of this season as filler space. Like we kind of started steering towards like it's going to be the Whitney and Jen blow up that happens in the back half of this season and stuff like that in LA, where they're going to have their falling out on Dancing with the Stars and stuff. And then I'm assuming like the culmination here is going to be like the send off of Taylor going to The Bachelorette at the end of the season. And then it's going to be go watch The Bachelorette because that's coming out in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
So that'll be like the direction that they leave everybody off in. But man, yeah, this felt like no new information to me, sort of a chunk of episodes here. So it just feels like I'm kind of dragging a little bit.
I think it's going to get crazy from here.
I think it's going to get crazy, but these ones were like, it was a weird rough middle here, where usually it's like we start the season slow and we end on a weird sour note, but like the middle's good. So now the middle's bad. And I'm like, I don't know, but it started good. First 2 episodes were good. So now I'm kind of like, I don't know. I hope we finish strong.
I think they're going to finish strong. Did you see the preview where Leanne is telling Taylor that she wishes she had placed her for adoption?
I didn't think I could
dislike that woman more, but
she'll find ways.
She's just being herself, and she's really losing us all. Well, we'll be back tomorrow with another 2 episodes of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Pray for us.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.